Okay. So I've recorded this video a few times, but again, I'm just not getting it. They don't tell you how hard this is. Like, I set up the camera and you think, oh, just hit record. You set up the camera, you record like 20 minutes worth of things, and then you look back at it and there's just one hair that just bothers you, and then you have to record again. Okay, so I'm gonna be giving a quick little tattoo tour. I don't really have that many tattoos. A lot of them have meanings, a lot of them don't have meanings. I just like tattoos. I like them on my body. I think they look good. I think I should share what they are. That way, if anyone has any questions, I can help. Anyway, I'm gonna go in order chronologically of upper body and then chronologically lower body. Let's get started. My first tattoo was this A on my wrist. One of my mom's first tattoos was a C on her wrist, and then my brother got his first tattoo and it was a C on his wrist. I want to be a part of this. I'm gonna get a C on my wrist. And then I get there and for some reason I decide, no, I want an A on my wrist because of my name. So I was like, let's get an A. So I do. Narcissism kicked in. I don't really care. It's done, you know? I forget it's there half the time, which is crazy because it's a place that you wouldn't forget it's there, but I do. I ended up dedicating a lot of other tattoos to my mom, so it's totally fine. Next tattoo, Friday the 13th. I got a Friday the 13th tattoo. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did. The only thing about this tattoo that I do not enjoy anymore is the little dots. They just seem a little not me. When I finish my sleeve, I'll definitely cover up that part, but I'll leave the paper airplane. Paper airplane does mean something to me. I'm not going to get into it because it's not my story to tell, but it is very important to me and it relates to somebody very important in my life. So next I got the Lazarus. So that's my mother's maiden name. Obviously, I took it as mine, and that is where that came from. I got it tattooed on me. Funny story about this one though. I couldn't find lettering or like a font that I really enjoyed for that, what I wanted it to say. So I ended up going on Snapchat, choosing a black screen and then typing out Lazarus and then putting a space between each letter and just showing the tattoo artist and being like, this is what I want. And he was like, bet. Printed it out, made it a stencil, put it on, tattooed it, and it was done. I was like, okay, cool. And that's kind of it. Like, I know a lot of people put time and effort and care into these decisions. Not that one. Not this time. After that, I got the B on the back of my arm. That's not part of my sleeve. That was by itself. For like 2 or 3 years, I was a camp counselor at Girl Scout camp. And you have to pick a name that's obviously not your name. And it can be an object, an animal, a feeling, anything you want. So I chose a B. I don't really know why.
You like jazz?
Not sure, but I loved it and I was like, I'm going with that. And I went by B. So then afterwards, after I finished doing camp, I got the tattoo. It just kind of symbolizes that time in my life. It was really cool. I love the name, and sometimes my mom calls me Dean B. After that, I started tattooing myself. Yes, I was one of those people. I did tattoo myself. I don't regret it. Anyway, first thing I did was this sun ray that's on my wrist. I just like the sun. I like the ray, so I tattooed it. Then I have a C and a spade on my finger. The C is for my mom, the spade, I just like it. After that, I started on my sleeve. There's a tiger in there. Some people can't really see it unless you get close or, you know that. But then at the top, I have the Panamanian flower and a Panamanian bird. That's for my mom. She actually has half a sleeve as well, but hers is dedicated completely to Panama because that's her home. And I got those because of her. After that, I got the angel on my bicep next. This one also has a meaning that I do not believe I can share because it's not my story to share necessarily, but I did lose someone and I wanted this to represent that loss. So that's what that was. Next, I went on a road trip with someone. It was a friend of a friend, and it was supposed to be a group of us. Like, all 3 of us were supposed to go, but then this one friend didn't go, so it was just me and this person that wasn't really my friend, or I didn't know that well. But we said, screw it, let's go. We're young, we're in our 20s, we're in college, let's go. So we go on this road trip. When we're in Nashville, we both decide that we want permanent souvenirs. Why is my chain backwards? So I got this longhorn on the back of my arm. I love the tattoo. Took absolutely way too long to get it. Like, for some reason, everyone and their mother was there waiting for a tattoo. So we spent like 4 hours there just waiting. But we ended up finding other things to do because it was just so long. So we were like, oh, let's go do this. Anyway, by the time we got in there, it was only like a 30-minute tattoo. But that was that. Then I got my sternum piece, which I ended up going back to this artist multiple times. They did a lot of stuff on my legs. That I ever went to them for was my sternum. I think it might have been one of his first pieces on a sternum, but it is my revolvers. They are so cool. Barrels up. I love this tattoo. It's definitely one of my favorites. No meaning there. I saw it on his story and immediately knew I wanted it and exactly where I wanted it. I didn't even think about being scared about the placement because I know that they say it hurts, and it hurt. It hurt. But it was well worth it. I don't regret it at all. I'd do it 10 times over because I do love it. I don't see that one enough, but of course I see it, before a shower or in a swimsuit or whatever. I really like that tattoo and I really like that artist. That was the first time that I realized that you can go to a tattoo artist who's not well into their 60s or 70s and is going to be a complete dick about the tattoo and placement and what style you want. I finally found a group of people as tattoo artists who were part of my generation who loved tattoos, loved the expression of their creativity, and wanted to share it with people, and were respectful and understanding of people's ideas and placement and was willing to work with you. So I went back multiple times. The next tattoo I had on my mind for a very long time, and I didn't know who I wanted to go to for it, but I remember seeing an artist from Tampa and I saw their work and I knew that they were going to be the one to do it, and I just needed to send it over, get it approved, and then talk to them and we'd be good. So I did that. I'd always had this idea of a mace on my forearm. I said this to a few people. I don't know if they remember me explaining how badly I wanted this tattoo because I saw it in my head and I just needed someone to put it on paper and put it on a stencil and tattoo it on my body. I finally just sent it to an artist, and then the day I walked in and he showed me the design and I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. We put it on, sized it up, and then boom, ready to go. So that's the one that's on my forearm. I really like this one. I think it looks really sick. Definitely one of my favorites. Next one. So the artist that did my sternum, they were originally at a tattoo shop and then they opened their own tattoo shop actually. So while they were like in the process of opening, they had a lot of guest artists come, and one of them was from New York and he did the whiskey glass and snake. I love this one actually so much for two reasons. One, it's for my stepdad. He's a whiskey guy, so after work he'll have a glass of whiskey, smoke a cigarette, like chill. So definitely dedicated to him. And two, one of my friends actually bought me whiskey glasses because of this tattoo, and they look exactly like this one, and it's so sweet, so wholesome. So I really do like that one a lot. And then I think that's all for my upper body. So then moving on to lower body, I definitely probably just need to put pictures up, but just in case, I'm gonna stand up really quick and I'm gonna give you a full run through. Okay, so we have the chain links, the car, the ghost face, Buck 120, and then I have a star, Metabot, another car, PBR, a little smiley face, and a Pikmin. Okay, so if I was to go in order chronologically of the ones on my legs, I got the Ghostface first. Scream is one of my favorite movies ever of all time. I know almost all of the lines word for word. I love that movie. I watch it at least 20 times a year. It's definitely a comfort movie for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's Drew Barrymore, maybe it's more, I don't know. I walked in for a Friday the 13th tattoo, looked at the designs. I didn't really like any of them, and I asked the artist, I was like, hey, would you be willing to? And he was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So he ended up helping me out and giving me the ghost face instead of some of the designs that he had. Then I have the Buck 120, which is the knife. That's actually the knife that was used in Scream. I actually did that one myself. I did the hand poke method for the outline, and then later on, after it had healed, I went ahead and colored in the handle with a machine. Same for the star on my knee and the smiley face. Those were both done by me, hand poke. Those I actually did just like randomly. I was sitting in bed and I decided to do them. And then the smiley face I decided to do on my balcony, and the star I decided to do sitting in bed. I don't know why, I just was like, I want to do this, and I did it. So I don't regret them at all. Then the cars. So my dad is really into cars. He knows a lot about cars. He knows a lot more than me about cars, but I do know a little bit about cars and I like them.
Me falling down the stairs.
I asked my dad what his favorite car was. He said it was a Nissan GTR R34, and then I was like, oh, my favorite car is also a Nissan. It's a Nissan 240 SX S13. So I got both of those tattooed, and I wanted them to look kind of like Hot Wheels because I'm a really big fan of Hot Wheels. I think they're really cool. So I got the R34 for my dad. I also got, for my graduation gift from my brother, the Nissan 34 Lego set, which is the car that Paul Walker was driving in the second Fast and the Furious movie, which was really cool. I built this and I was so excited. I love this Lego set. Definitely one of my favorites. I wish they had more car sets. But yes, so the cars are for me and my dad. And then I have, okay, so I had a friend that actually became a apprentice for a guy who did my sternum, and he actually did both of the cars too. I had a friend who became an apprentice for them, and she needed someone to practice on, of course. So I was one of the third or fourth people that she practiced on, and she did the little Pikmin, the Metabot, and the PBR. So the Pikmin, very nostalgic. My brothers used to play when I was a kid. They did most of the playing. I did a lot of watching, but it's still very nostalgic to me. I really like that tattoo, and it's so cute. I always remember it's back there, and I'm just really happy about it. And then the PBR I got because I do really enjoy beer. My stepdad is really into beer, and he's taught me a lot about, like, you know, what kind of beers I like, what to look for in a beer, flavors, things like that. But whenever my pockets are a little empty, I will pick a PBR. I saw it on her flash and I was like, I need that. That's my broke boy beer. Love that. The Metabot. So Metabots is like if Transformers and Pokemon had a baby, it would be Metabots. Metabots were like robots that kids got to pick out, but in order to get them like up and running, you had to put like this little medallion thing in them. And in like the first episode, you meet Peppercat, and she's like this Mean Girls robot, but she's like a mean girl who's running the mean group posse, and it's two dudes and then her, and I'm like, that's so badass. And then Peppercat is like this bright cherry red, like super cool robot, and she gets stuff done. Like, she goes out there, she battles, and she wins. And not all the time does she win, but when she does, it's like, okay. The moment I saw her, I loved Peppercat. I was like, if I was to have a Metabot, that would be my Metabot. My stepdad actually got one as well, but his is another Metabot. Maybe I'll have him talk about that someday.
So I don't know why I forgot to mention this one, but the chain links were by the same artist that did my sternum and the two cars, and there's no meaning.
That's all of my tattoos for now. If you guys have any questions or you want to talk specifically about one of my tattoos, please let me know. Hit me up in the comments. I'll definitely respond. Excuse me. And I will have a series coming out soon where I'm going to be doing a closet clean out. I think I want to choose a couple pieces, kind of try and style them, and then if it doesn't work out, I'll go ahead and donate them or sell them. Because most of my styling content is on TikTok, I definitely want to bring some of that here to this channel. So we're going to start with a closet clean out and then go from there. If you're feeling up to it, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon.